Excited for a road trip? Start it off right with auto coverage from American Family Insurance. J.D. Power ranked us #1 in customer satisfaction with the auto insurance shopping experience among mid-size insurers. Get a quote at amfam.com.
American Family Insurance.
For J.D. Power 2021 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they're kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, this on the regular, dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rude. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
You got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
This is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans, that's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's edition of One Nation Radio. I'm James Porter. Hear me out, Rich Latta. What's going on, man?
Chilling, man. Just here for another week of One Nation Radio. We've got a fun show planned as always, or we're gonna make it fun.
Yeah. we didn't write anything to the format. It's a really like a light week for wrestling. Like if I had had the foresight to think about it before, I probably should have said something to you earlier. Like over the weekend, and we probably could have got some votes in or got the One Nation Radio awards in, but that'll be next week. Rich says he's going to tabulate over the weekend, and we'll do it next week. But yeah, man, like there are some things to talk about. Like I think Rampage had some good matches. I thought that obviously CM Punk and MJF had a match that a lot of people think is like a match year contender. A lot of other people think is like it went too long, but I'm somewhere in the middle between that. But yeah, there was a lot of stuff on the AEW side. You are also part of the AEW stuff with your contributions to AEW's Who We Are mixtape. Is it Volume 1?
Volume 1.
Volume 1.
I don't know if it's, Volume 2, 3, 4 planned. I don't know if they're going to like switch the concept or whatever to like, say, all the Latino wrestlers get something like that. Like, I don't know if they're going to take it that way, but very happy to be on this one.
Okay. So we'll talk more in depth about what your contributions were in full and like, how that worked out and like the connections and, what went into it as much as you can in the detail you can give at this time. But I
actually am going to be doing a, I'll announce it now. I'm doing TZ Sable with like Montez, Righteous Rage, Will Washington, a couple other people that are on it. We're recording it Thursday. I don't know when that audio will be out, but I think it's going to be a Zoom, so it'll be like a video as well. Okay.
So, all right. So y'all look out for that, and when we get to the AEW section, we'll talk more in depth. But I guess we start this week with more details coming out about Shane McMahon's departure from WWE. Sorry?
There goes the money.
There goes the money. So, oh man. So,
James,
yes.
Why is Shane McMahon still so popular?
Because he was in Attitude Era. He does a lot of stunts.
That was so long ago. Like,
yeah,
I'm like, you're modern. I know WWE doesn't really have young fans or anything, but let's say like they do. The people that they do have that are young, like, why do they care about Shane McMahon at all?
Because he was in the Attitude Era, and the Attitude Era is was apparently like the greatest time of major American professional wrestling ever. So like he was from that time, and he was, I wouldn't say protected, but he was like booked at a certain slot to where he was like a special attraction. So, and he was gone for a long time, and people liked him at the time, and he came back, and so he has these matches where he does like car wreck stuff at times. So people have a nostalgic feel for him. Like, it's the same reason why they keep bringing back Goldberg. Like, they have a certain number of part-timers or whatever you want to call them, and they come back, and like he was in that run from 2016 to a couple weeks ago. And
Bruce has a good point. He says he's popular because he's not Stephanie.
There's also that too. There's definitely that at play. People hate Stephanie. People have hated Stephanie because she was, at first when she was on TV, she was not good as a character at all. She eventually grew into being a very good character, so good that people hate her, even though she's great. Regardless of the stuff they've had her say, like her execution is excellent. You think about it, like, I'm sure when we get to AEW Dynamite, the second segment this week, we'll talk about someone that's excellent at delivering terrible stuff too. But like that definitely is at play. The part where it's like, yeah, you're the older brother, she's this woman, she, and hating women, that ties into it as well. But yeah, like, I think people thought that Shane was going to be at some point, because of all the goofy shit that he did, that they thought he was like, he had his ear to the ground for like pro wrestling, and thought that like he was going to be like an heir apparent to Vince, and like, nah.
Like that battle was lost. That battle was lost years ago.
Well, yeah, but you keep in mind, like, as he leaves in 2009, like it's a okay. If you hate Triple H, if you hate Stephanie, if you want Vince out the fucking tape, off the chair, or out of the chair, who in your choices you ask to be someone that's going to be related to Vince McMahon or in the family. That's the only hope you got, right?
Yikes.
So obviously Triple H would have been the best choice out of those three, but you get my point. Like, so people held on to that. Plus, they liked him doing this. Plus, like, after time goes by, the only thing you do remember are the high spots. So, in the stupid shit he did in matches that, like, he could do once and then, like, go away for months as, like, the actual boys and girls out there wrecking their bodies, doing house shows and pay-per-view and television, while he just does one high spot and then he gets all the props in the world while he goes and heals up after everybody else would have to do that shit and then have to wrestle next day after pay-per-view.
Bro,
so
I'm thinking about the matches that he's been involved in, the WrestleMania matches in particular, since he's come back.
Since 2016. He has
a terrible match with The Undertaker.
Yep.
AJ Styles busted his ass so much that AJ Styles hasn't been the same since.
That's a consistent force, yes.
2018, he's like getting the shit beat out of him the whole match against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and it sucks. 2019, it sucks against The Miz. He's doing a Falls Count Anywhere match. 2020, COVID. I'm out of here. 2021, I'm still not around because, this COVID stuff.
Nah, he was around. Remember that match with Strowman in the cage?
He fought Strowman in a cage. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, but I'm wrong. That shit sucked too. So
it sucked. Yeah. Now that you mention it,
don't think because it was in a cage that it was WrestleMania, it was any good. That shit sucked too.
And then we're here now, and we were spared because apparently this man, like, I was watching this and I sent a text message to a friend of mine.
God.
And I was like, so they got Shane in here doing his, in quotes, MMA on Riddle, and I was like, what kind of sense does that make? And I knew something was off at the time. I was like, who booked him to do this? And come to find out, it was him.
Yeah.
They say. I don't know. Like,
well, maybe not that part, but like he was okay. So the word is over the last few Rumbles, which coincidentally have all sucked too, except for like one. he has been helping out with the Rumble. Or helping out, like, you know, laying out the Rumble. So apparently Vince and Paul Heyman, Vince/Paul Heyman/Brock Lesnar was basically like saying no to a lot of his ideas. Apparently he was supposed to face Seth Rollins of all people at WrestleMania, which is like, thank God Seth got away from that one. Thank God. But apparently he's going to face him, so he tried to pitch to get him after being in the opener to be in the Rumble, which, you know, he wasn't going to win. It was going to be Brock that was going to win. So why put him in there after he gets, you know, after whatever they're trying to do to get, you know, keep Roman super strong and Brock super strong, even though, like, Brock fucking lost the belt because of Roman, like, earlier in the show, but whatever, like, that's their logic. So, and also, you know, Seth didn't sell a damn thing after getting destroyed by a chair on Saturday to Monday anyway, but whatever. It's WWE logic. So, so Seth they didn't want to put Seth in. Then, like, apparently there was some miscue between Randy Orton and Shane when, like, they were Shane was supposed to come out last, Orton was supposed to come out first, but apparently there's some snafu where, like, it got where, you know, the entrance sheet got switched to where, like, it was vice versa. So Shane's music hits before Orton. Orton basically is like, I ain't going out of there, music, take your ass on out there. And he has to go out there. So, like, Orton, that also kind of explains why, like, Orton showed up and, like, in his hometown hero, Randy Orton shows up. All he does is hit a couple RKOs. He gets promptly thrown out. He didn't make the Final Four at like 28 or 27. Shane, Bad Bunny, Drew McIntyre, and Brock Lesnar are the Final Four of the Rumble.
Imagine.
Yeah. So, yeah. And apparently, like, it was a bad Rumble, a boring Rumble. So somebody had to take the heat for it, and apparently backstage with, you know, all these ideas that are being shot down that he presented to try to get his thing over for Seth at WrestleMania, was told no, and apparently he was complaining to the wrong people or too many people, and he had a bunch of heat, and they told him to go to not show up to Raw, and then he's going from the company for now. So I just so
all the problems in WWE are now fixed.
Right. So, you know, there's obviously some scapegoating to that because, like, you know, all these ideas, the person that's okaying or yang or naying all this stuff is going through Vince. So when there's a bad match or whatever else, it's on Vince. If something's poorly booked, it's on Vince. So, like, and you can say what you want to about Jim Cornette, Vince Russo, Triple H, Fit Finley, TJ Wilson, all of the producers over the decades, all the assistant bookers. It always gets funneled through Vince. Nothing even like moves until Vince sees it and okays it. It's all Vince. So when the shit's bad, ultimately it's on Vince because nobody just does some shit without Vince's approval unless they're told they're allowed to ad-lib on the mic every so often. So this shit sucked. I'm sure some of it is Shane's fault, but Vince okayed whatever happened anyway, so ultimately it's Vince's fault. So, whatever. And apparently, Meltzer was saying something along the lines of, when you're in that position, it's on you to take the heat. You're supposed to keep all the criticism off of Vince. You're supposed to be a yes man. You're supposed to fall on the sword for every fuck up he has. So, because of Shane probably figured, like, you know, I can kind of you know, complain. Apparently the fuck not. They even got his son out of there. Well, you know, as you talk about, like, people like Nick Khan and that damn Jim Ross, you know, and that damn Triple H and whoever else is, that damn Paul Heyman when it came to Gallows and Anderson a couple years ago when they released Bischoff. Him. Yeah, that damn Bischoff. Yeah, like it's those guys are there to take the heat off the shit that Vince does. Vince is a mob boss. And the people keep falling for it all the time. Or maybe they're just being diplomatic and they realize, like, you can't get heat with Vince or whatever else. I don't know. So they bury whoever, was, or Laurinaitis, another one that gets a lot of shit. So when those people get the shit, so I mean, I'm sure all of it's rightful because like nobody's hit that or hits 100%, right? Or bats 100%. That would be 1,000 if I'm saying baseball, but I'm fucking up. But I think that like those people recognizes Vince, but they're playing dumb too because that's how Vince wants it. Vince wants it to be like, hey, you see this person or whatever else, or I need to bring you in or whatever else, or if you want a job in the future, you don't really bury Vince right now. Like back when the WCW days, yeah, people that buried Vince wanted to pay them to make them take back every word they said. But now that's not really, it doesn't really work that way, apparently. So now it's just got to kiss Vince's ass.
Well, I guess it's time for the Shane McMahon pack to be put in the air. So those on Twitch, you can see I got the cigar ready. So Shane,
he'll be back.
Get up, yeah, he'll be back one of these days. But yeah, man, he fired his own son. That's, if you don't find the comedy in that, that's hilarious.
Yeah, that one's not good, man. That one is not good. So I guess we go from Shane, and as we talked about these WrestleMania plans, we can go into the Elimination Chamber, talk about what that card looks like. So
yeah, he was gonna have Seth Rollins originally fight him at WrestleMania and wanted Seth to be in the Rumble and all this other stuff, and yeah, there was a lot.
Shane was going to be in the Rumble in the Chamber, but once he got let go, they put Austin Theory in that spot, which naturally means that like the next week after he finally gets put in the spot, you got to beat him with Kevin Owens on Raw, right? Clean, a person that's not going to Saudi Arabia.
That's that good old storytelling that WWE is world famous for.
Yeah. That's that, like a 6-way for the title, put a person in there and then beat them clean for no reason. So let's start with that. So Brock Lesnar, after losing to Bobby Lashley, shows up that Monday and says, hey, whatever, I'm going to get you, Bobby, but once I get you, I'm just going to take your belt and I'm going to go towards Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, but I'm going to take your belt at the same time. So like, word has been for a while that they did not want to do title versus title or a unification match. Now it seems like they're headed towards winner takes all.
Mm-hmm.
After saying that they weren't going to do it forever, and it looks like the whole time while they were saying they didn't want to do it, you're kind of like, or the word is they didn't want to do it. You're like, well, the TV is saying opposite. So what is it? What's going on here? Well, apparently now the way they're teasing it, you got to, Chekhov's gun. If the gun don't go off after showing the gun, now it is like what's happening. So I'm pretty sure we're about to get. I'm pretty sure Brock Lesnar, after all this talk about keeping Roman and Lesnar very, very strong, going to Saudi Arabia in a chamber, he's about to win the WWE title right back and then go to WrestleMania 38. Is 38? 39? 37?
38.
36 was 37. 38? Yeah, it is 38.
38.
Wow. Go to WrestleMania 38 in title versus title. These brands be damned.
Exactly. I feel like it's headed towards title versus title. They're not going to put the WWE title underneath both. I don't think they're going to do what they did last year. They had the WWE title in the opener, like as a weird thing, underneath, the night 1 main event and underneath the night 2 main event. I think with, them wanting to do Ronda and Charlotte and put it on last for whatever reason, on one day, they want to just build up the second one as big as possible. And I heard a funny thing that said if Brock Lesnar wins this one, he will have ended every black WWE champion's reign if he beats Lashley for it now.
So let's see. That would be all right. So
The Rock.
No. Wait. He hasn't. That means that wouldn't have meant that he's ended every black person's reign. He just would have stopped every black. He would have took it from every black champion that's been around because Bobby's reign got ended by Big E.
Correct, but he's
if he finished, he will catch Bobby this time to be the only one that's the only, like, I guess the Highlander, only one that's still around. Yeah.
So when I said that,
so it'd be Kofi, Big E, Lashley,
and
The Rock. Is that it?
That's it.
60 years. Wow.
Yeah.
60 years. Okay.
Rock, owns us, bro.
He owns us. All right. You're saying that into the internet. I'm not.
You just be whooping us.
Well, it is fake.
Look, dumping us on our heads, But yeah, man. The Elimination Chamber. It is nice that they have someone resembling some type of youth in there with Austin Theory. I mean, we know why he's there. I think they have Riddle involved with this and Seth Rollins. I can't think of the other people though.
Oh, so Riddle, Seth Rollins, Austin Theory, Lashley, Brock. So there's one person missing.
Get your merch.
Yeah, I'm blanking right now. Hold on, let me pull up the wiki. If my computer.
Big E.
No, Big E's not in it. Can't.
You know what? It's not Big E because they moved him to SmackDown.
Yeah, he's on SmackDown. Yeah.
Yikes. Is it AJ Styles?
It is AJ.
Okay. Man, would be nice to give AJ Styles something.
He's not winning.
for carrying that luggage around all year.
Oh man, yeah, almost boy. Like, I guess maybe he wins the Andre, but outside of that, like, there is nothing for him. So yeah, I actually have the card. Yeah, it's exactly people's Bobby Lashley champion versus Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins, Austin Theory, Riddle, and AJ Styles. I don't know if you noticed, but like, Seth Rollins is now, like, his name isn't just Seth Rollins; it's Seth freaking Rollins now.
Yes. He's a gimmick. A total gimmick.
I don't know why. No, like, if you want to call yourself Seth freaking Rollins, cool, but I don't...
Freaking.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. But why would you add that, like, officially to the name?
Because Seth Rollins is a geek among geeks. In the storyline, out of the storyline, anywhere you want to name it.
Sure, I guess
interacting with the fans, interacting with other wrestlers. Geek.
Look, man, cool, but I don't understand what that has to do with turning it into it. Like, how is Seth freaking Rollins more
marketable?
How's that easier to sell to advertisers or whoever else than just Seth Rollins? I don't get that. Like, and I understand
because they don't sell Seth Rollins to advertisers; they sell WWE.
Well, they have him in commercials and have him do public appearances. You know what I mean? Like, I get what you're saying, but also, like, if he's going to be a headliner in the company, why the fuck would you call him Seth freaking Rollins when he was Seth Rollins to begin with? Like, it's not like he's the same fucking guy. He's not crazy, or okay, he's playing crazy, but he's not like he's turned into the Fiend or like Alexa Bliss right now. You know what I mean? Like, that would need an actual change in name or whatever else. This is just he's doing this goofy gimmick. I don't know. Whatever. Who cares? Ultimately, it doesn't matter. It's a name is a name. No one's actually going to call him Seth freaking Rollins. It's always going to be Seth Rollins. That's another reason why I'm like, why would you even call him that? No one's going to pronounce the freaking every single time, except for obviously Michael Cole and Jimmy Smith. So, but yeah, so that is the Chamber. Should be a good match. Given the talent, given what the Chamber has been since it got redone and is safer to bump into. So let's go down the rest of this card. Becky Lynch versus Lita. Lita was in the Rumble, was going toe to toe with Charlotte, getting physical with Charlotte, and then Charlotte, as Lita sets up to do the moonsault in the Rumble match, shoves her out, and then Lita just shows him and says, "Oh yeah, I'll fight Becky instead." What? Like, why is Charlotte doing this?
Saudi Arabia, checks to be had. The women finally get one.
But they've had multiple women matches on these Saudi shows.
No, I mean, like, they finally get to bring an older woman back for Saudi Arabia.
Right, but I don't know why that means it would switch to Becky instead of just doing the Charlotte versus Lita match like they've been.
Because it doesn't matter. It's WWE. They just do what they want.
Rich, I understand that. My point is will you agree with me that this is fucking stupid that they're doing Becky, that they switcheroo to Becky instead of Charlotte after they shot an angle for Charlotte?
This is because they suck. Like, this is literally...
That's what I'm getting at, Rich. We're in agreement. This is stupid. They suck, yes.
Like, they brought her out there, and it's like, yo, man, I was never trying to see Lita wrestle in the first place. So, it's in Saudi Arabia, so I don't have to see it. So, God bless them.
So...
Becky and Lita, man, that's going to be a rough one. It's going to be
a lot of storytelling having to carry that one. Like, Lita...
Storytelling.
It's going to have to be a storytelling match. Like, I don't know what Lita can do. I guess that's the interest. What can Lita do at this stage in 2022? Because Lita,
get her a new finish, please.
Lita is, like, sneakily was older than we thought she was at the time in her prime. So now she's, so for example, like when she did her Hall of Fame speech and she said that she got into wrestling because she saw a very young Rey Mysterio Jr. She was older than Rey. So Lita might be, Lita's 46. Yeah. So, we'll see what she can do. Like, obviously, like, I hope that she comes correct in a similar fashion to Trish Stratus, because Trish Stratus never embarrasses herself. But we're gonna see. I've always maintained that I thought that Trish was better, and people always told me no, it's Lita. Lita, more because she was more relatable. This and the third. Well, I remember the Charlotte match with that Trish had at SummerSlam. What was that, like 3 years ago? She never embarrassed herself. She always comes correct. Well, let's see it, Lita. Let's see it.
Yeah, this is gonna be.
It's gonna be interesting to see the results, the fanfare to this one when it comes out, and I will be watching. I will be watching the show. So
yeah, I don't think we're gonna be expecting no All Japan womenens on this. This is no Gaia. No. This is no.
This will not be no ceiling, no ice ribbon, no shit. This will definitely not be no fucking Tokyo Joshi Pro semi-main event or main event either. But we'll see. So let's get to it while we're going through it.
Oh my
god. Goldberg has came back for Roman Reigns after WrestleMania 36's match got canceled due to Roman leaving because of COVID for the time and come back as a heel. They said, you know what, Goldberg, you have one more match left. I know you like that sweet Saudi money. Come get speared. So they're doing that. They're finally doing Roman Reigns versus Goldberg. Goldberg, 50 what now? How old is Goldberg now?
50-11.
He's 55. He just turned 55 2 days after Christmas. So yeah, up there, damn near as old as he's 2 years younger than Undertaker.
How did Goldberg earn this shot?
Oh, by being Goldberg.
The last time we saw Goldberg was when? In Saudi Arabia, right?
Against Drew, I think?
Nah. He beat Bobby Lashley in Saudi Arabia.
Didn't he?
Gorg. Yep. Gorg.
Okay. All right.
And then before that, he had the terrible match at SummerSlam with Bobby Lashley.
So, that was over his son, Sunberg, right?
Yes. And then
But didn't he have a match with? Didn't he have a match with? No, that was the WrestleMania. That was WrestleMania. No,
that was the Royal Rumble last year.
That's right. Okay, all right. I forgot. Yeah. Okay, you're right. I'm forgetting these Goldberg appearances. You know, that's how I'm seeing the follow the company that far. So yeah, man, like Spear versus Spear. Good luck, Roman. Yo, we gotta look through like Roman for like all of these like Saudi Arabia shows and WrestleManias and be like, hey, what's the median age of his opponents at WrestleMania? Because like, Rich, think about it like this, right? First WrestleMania was WrestleMania 31, where he's fighting Big Show, Ryback, and...
Or 29.
Yeah, 29. I'm sorry. You're right. 29, not 31. 29. 29, he's fighting... It was Big Show, Sheamus, and Orton, right? Big Show was in his 40s. Orton was in his late 30s. Sheamus was in his late 30s. Or not late, mid-30s, right? WrestleMania 30, he fought Kane and the New Age Outlaws. How old? So those are all people that were in their late 40s or mid 40s by that point in time, right?
Yes.
31, Brock Lesnar, he's in his late 30s. 32, Triple H, he's in his early 40s.
He's in mid 40s then.
How old is Triple H right now? Is he 50?
Triple H is 50 now.
So that was 6 years ago. Okay, so mid to early 50s or mid to early 40s, whatever you want to say, right? So 33, Undertaker, who's like who's 52, 51 or something like that, early 50s.
Up there with the red light.
Yeah. Fresh off the, from being fresh off of the operating table would have replaced him. Yeah. A guy that shows up at the Rumble and has to be, it has to be trailered to the fucking thing. Anyway, so that's WrestleMania 33. WrestleMania 34, Brock Lesnar, who at that point in time is like 40 then, right? Because he's 34 now, I think. Yeah, so you have that. Then you have him at 35. He actually faces somebody that's not like, a fossil. He faces the same age as him, Drew McIntyre, just about. I think they're like 1 year apart or like within 2 years of each other, right? And then...
And they do like a 10-minute Raw match.
Yeah, a 10-minute Raw match because he had just came back, more or less. And they just did like his... he had came back and Dean Ambrose was out the door to AEW. So they had their, that one last reunion to get that sweet Shield reunion money before they moved him to the Drew McIntyre thing. Then 36, he was going to get Goldberg. He said, "No, I'm tired of fighting these old dudes." So then
they pull out a new one.
Yeah. So it's been rough for this man at these Saudi Arabia shows and at WrestleMania in particular. Like they keep giving this man old people. I don't understand it. I can't get it. I understand the point. Like, he's a big star, or he's their biggest active star or current day star. Put him against the yesteryear and the rub as if make him a legend. I get the idea. The problem is these legends ain't like 2010 Shawn Michaels. These legends are dunzo.
He has wrestled more old guys than Pentagon Jr. in Mexico. Good fucking God. Get a new formula.
Speaking of that, you know who they should bring in?
Who?
They should bring in La Parka. You wanna fight all niggas? Put him in there with La Parka. Am I wrong?
Hey, who's gonna win?
Roman.
I don't think La Parka going for that.
Look, pay him enough money and retire him. Take the mask too.
Yeah,
he'll come off look, Vince got the money. Give him $1 million. He'll come off that mask.
Damn.
So,
damn.
Yeah, man.
I knew we'd have fun somehow.
Yeah, so you got that. God bless
Roman Reigns and Goldberg.
God bless you, Roman. I just hope they don't do the Edge and Batista thing where they, both they do the double spear and they both duck their heads to the same side and clunk coconuts.
You know it's coming.
Oh, the double spear? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm calling it out. Like, I just hope that they both, you go, we both go right, and when we both go right, I mean, you go this side, I go this side, and we nudge, not no, I go right, you go stage right, and then we fucking go like this. So
as Solo Dome was saying, they were going to do him and Edge before Bryan Danielson had to save the match.
Yeah, that's another one. So WrestleMania last year, he fought Edge, who was in his late 30s or late 40s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's another fossil. And look, how's Daniel Bryan? 30 what? Or 40, 30, late 30s, I think right?
He had he was 39 at the time, I believe.
So okay, so look, they finally gave him an old guy that can actually work. After all these years, that's the one they gave him. Or Edge also worked too, but you get my point. So
different levels here. Right.
Like Edge can still give you a couple good matches. Like Daniel Bryan still one of the best wrestlers, one of the elite wrestlers in the world. So Drew McIntyre versus Madcap Moss. Just get this over with. Just get Corbin and Madcap Moss the fuck away. Like I want Drew's.
Bro, I saw some press release that I know Paul Heyman be doing this, right? Mm-hmm. But this man was talking about one of the next great stars in wrestling is Madcap Moss, and I want him drug tested immediately.
Look, man, I can't speak on that. I saw Madcap Moss get destroyed by Drew McIntyre a couple weeks ago, or a couple months ago at the Day One pay-per-view, and I thought that like he showed high effort. Obviously, he's been around forever, so like take that with a gigantic, or actually not with one, but with multiple grains of salt. What Heyman is trying to sell you on, but that dude is trying, and he's bumping for a big dude. So I'm not going to just say it. I think it's ridiculous too, but like I'm not just going to dismiss it out of his hand as if he's out to lunch. Like there are a lot of dudes that look like Madcap Moss and WWE that are doing a lot worse. So from there, we will then get to the Women's Chamber. The winner gets the Raw Women's Championship match at WrestleMania 38. It is Liv Morgan, who I discovered today is 2-14 in WWE this year.
Man, we got to start bringing the records for WWE.
Now, I understand what you're going to say. Well, James, that's not fair. You're counting house show stuff. I'm going to say to you, you're right. It is unfair because normally babyfaces overwhelmingly win on house shows. She's a babyface. How the fuck is she 2-14? But I will put that to the side and say to you, you're right. It is unfair. So I will give you the record. She is 2-5 this year on television and pay-per-view.
Oh my God.
That's so much better, right?
This is a loser. This is a person who will never win.
She got pinned last night.
Get used to it. Look in the camera. I'm going to, I've got the power of zooming now. So
no, wait.
Look at me.
Wait, Rich.
Look at me. She will never win. Deal with it.
Yo, Rich, you have no idea. So so my screen, I can't show you my screen right now, but my screen is literally like half of it is the Audacity on one side, taking up half the screen. So, and then I have like the volume controls and a timer in the bottom right corner, and then in the top right corner is you, right? Your window for Chrome, right? So as I'm going through and I'm reading down the card, I have to go into the browser and I'm into the wiki for Elimination Chamber. So I didn't see you zoom in. So when I click over after you said you zooming in, I just see you're like, wait, why are you so close to all of a sudden? What the fuck happened? But anyway, so look, man,
it will never happen.
So we had this conversation happened while we were in the middle of. Actually, I brought it to your attention. I don't know what happened, but I was like, oh yeah, I saw the Raw results and I saw that Doudrop beat Liv, and I was like, just an update, Rich. Doudrop beat Liv, and then I don't know what happened. I said, hey man, Gregory Mazarek said, is she the Dakota Kai of the main roster? And I had never once considered that, but he's absolutely fucking right. He's absolutely right. And like the only way that is not like just ironclad and put together is a part where like Dakota is way more talented than her. So like
yeah.
But as far as the positioning of like somebody that a lot of people will believe in and want to see do well, but the booker has other plans, and the booker has shown you over and over they have different plans. So I then presented to Rich that I said that I thought that Starlight Kid, who is 20 fucking years old, will win the white belt before she ever wins a Raw or SmackDown women's singles title. And then Rich's response was, shit, I think that Starlight Kid will win the Red Belt before Liv Morgan ever win the fucking run of the SmackDown men and women's title. Now, for those that do not watch Stardom to understand why that is so fucking hilarious, Starlight Kid, I think, will eventually, if she sticks around, doesn't retire. I believe, given how she's already one of the 5 most over people in the company, as far as moving merch and all that kind of stuff, will be a Red Belt champion if she sticks around for it. If I were to ask me what year she wins it in, it'll be 2025. This man is betting that this woman who is 20 years old will not retire in the next 3 years, basically, before Liv even gets a fucking gold watch football season reign. That's what he's betting on.
Yes. Like,
that's mean as fuck.
Look, there are a lot of things that are working in my favor, I feel like. 1, they don't give a fuck about Liv. They never have. 2, they could cut her any day now. 3, you ever read a Liv Morgan interview? All the people that she wants to wrestle, they don't wrestle for WWE. So I feel like, those budget cuts, eventually they're going to swing around. And hey, quiet as kept. Liv Morgan's not as young as she once was.
Rich, Liv Morgan has been, her first match was in 2015.
Right. So like, as far as her doing like
in WWE, or at least like, I think their first match was ever in WWE, but that was 2015.
And I'm not saying Liv is old or anything. What I'm saying is like, she's kind of got that thing Bailey had going where it's like, you're doing this youthful character. How long are you going to do that?
Katy Perry syndrome.
Yeah, before like,
Teenage Dream, you're 30. Stop.
You're late. Exactly. Like she's gonna be 30 soon. So, yeah, I
Avril Lavigne's not doing the skater girl shit anymore, skater boy shit no more.
Look, yes. they got Cora Jade right in NXT ready to just slide into that role. Like I was talking to Josh the other week, I was like, in WWE, and we were kind of like bullshitting. It was like no one is actually ever different. It's like the person just like the new person just fills the old person's role, and it just goes all the way back
archetypes.
to Hogan.
Yeah, archetypes.
So like Cora Jade just slides right in to start getting beat like a drum, as Liv departs.
Yeah, like I mean, look at a lot of the women in NXT over the years, right? Like, I don't know when the first rocker chick was. Not saying whether it's metal or whether it's punk, right?
Been a lot.
There's always a rocker chick. Whether it's Shotzi, whether it's Rhea, whether it's Cora Jade now, whether it's whether it's Toni Storm, whether it's I almost called her or Ruby Riott. There's always one. So yes, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
So Starlight Kid, Red Belt champion. You heard it here first. Before Liv Morgan ever.
Think of all the things. Think of what you're betting. You understand like all the pitfalls that come into that. Like
I'm saying this while knowing she could win the title on accident, like Nikki ASH or something.
Right.
I'm still taking Starlight.
Right.
Yes.
Wow. I also like you call her Starlight the same way that you call like Thunder Rosa Thunder, or it's like that's okay, whatever.
Yeah, Thunder. Her name,
Right. Like, did you call 1, 2, 3? Did you call Waltman 1, 2, 3 instead of Kid? No, you called him Kid. Anyway, So I don't know why I just brought up Starlight Kid's uncle like that, but whatever. The kid, the illustrious Kid family.
Yes.
The Kid family, Dynamite, Jason /1-2 Kid. Jason Kidd, you dumb as shit. His wrestling alter ego, Asen.
Gabriel Kidd, as Cruller says. Yes,
lots
all
of
the
kids. Yes, Tyson Kidd, another kid.
Him too.
So let's continue down with this card. Yeah, man. The rest of that, besides Liv, we just went on Liv for so long. I didn't even mention the rest of the people in it. Rhea Ripley,
DJ, Kid Capri.
Yeah, Kid in play. All right, so. All right, I'm not about to do Kid forever with you. I'm not doing this. I'm not going to do this for the rest of the show. Do we make a pact to stop? Can we stop? Are we going to?
I think the rest of the show, any kid we can think of.
Oh God! All right, fine. All right, so also, in addition to Liv Morgan in this chamber, you have Rhea Ripley, you have Bianca Belair, you have Doudrop, you have Nikki ASH, and also to be announced. So like that means that's going to be like who else is on Raw? I think like is Alina on Raw?
She is.
Yes, that's right. Bianca beating her ass.
Unless they put Ronda in that shit.
If they put her in the chamber, what's the point?
They just did it with Brock.
Right, but the winner of this one gets a shot at the Raw Women's title.
I want both of y'all.
Again.
Run it bike.
Look, I mean, this the amount of people that are really hoping and wishing that Bianca backdoors her way into, like, in a weird way, this is eerily similar to the Heyman Page thing where it's like, you lost, and it's like, all right, well, build a head of steam and get you some redemption to go to the title. Because you had months to do it. Oh, no, y'all didn't do it? Y'all just microwaving the shit? Okay. Like, obviously, it's way worse. Because at least there was the part where, like, he failed one more time before he finally got in. This is just like, Bianca has just been hanging out ever since pretty much she lost the title. Survivor Series. So she's been hanging out since Survivor Series.
She got squashed at SummerSlam, was in DQ non-finished city, don't beat anybody for real at Survivor Series, hang out and fill time in a Royal Rumble, don't actually let her beat anybody.
Right.
Zone. So I don't know if they're just trying to suppress that until they can get her to WrestleMania. Even if she wins at WrestleMania,
it's not a good story.
I will never move off that. That did not need to happen to her. This does not that does not cure anything. That is a bad story. That is not a story. This is filling time on a calendar, keeping somebody kind of just away until the calendar flips over to the date you want to do it at.
Yep. Because there was no redeeming quality to this at all. There was no
there's no growth. There's no reason why
no growth,
Bianca
no
failed.
Change,
Nothing.
No new finisher, no nothing. Just like I failed and I chilled out and I'm back and yay. Like this was not like this was not Tamina Conner rebuilding herself after losing to Julia on that October 3rd show, 2020. It was not. This was not like even Hangman fighting for more than just himself, fighting for Dark Order at the time. It wasn't. It was just all right. Put me in a storage closet until it's time, boss. So I don't know who, but I will say if it is Ronda, she's winning, and then Bianca will be told to get fucked, and people will be furious. Like maybe the only make good you can have on that is like, oh well, they'll finally give us the Sasha and Bianca rematch that we did get at SummerSlam because neither one of them got shit to do. We may as well do it.
Yuck.
Yeah, absolutely right. Yuck is the right word. There's a Usos and Viking Raiders thing where the challengers are the Viking Raiders, and one of the Usos beat one of the Viking Raiders clean as a sheet on Thursday, or not Thursday but Friday. So can't wait for that one. Beat the challengers off rip in a singles match. Anytime
you can do that
in 2 minutes,
you got to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
When is this show?
Elimination Chamber is, I wrote it down in my calendar, but yeah, it is February 19th.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not...
So y'all getting the preview this week rather than next week. So.
Oh, we're not talking about this show. Like, yeah. I mean, Rich, I don't even know if you're going to watch it, right?
No.
Yeah,
No
I'll probably just throw it on because, like, just cause. But yeah, I mean... So it's something we can have to talk about, but yeah, like this is your preview right here, right now. We you know, whatever. Like next preview show we do for WWE will be WrestleMania. So there's that. So I don't know, man. Let's this is a really bad build for a pay-per-view that's going to make them like $60 million.
It's not fair.
Whatever, man. Like
they are beyond. They are post. They are post quality.
Yeah, yeah. Do you remember? Was it Magna Carta Holy Grail that had the Samsung thing where like he was already platinum?
Yes. Like
they like already diamond.
Yep.
They already diamond. She ain't gotta be fucking good.
Yep.
We expected not to be good. To be quite fair with you.
Unbelievable.
Like, I think that Vince McMahon should win worst booker every year, but was it best promoter? He should win every fucking year. It's just amazing. It's just amazing. Anyway, so I don't even know where to go next. You want us to switch over to AEW?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, so your contributions to the mixtape, my good man. Let's get to it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
So, which one do you want to start with? You want to start with the Mark Henry? You want to start with the Jade Cargill? Do you want to start with the Nyla?
We'll start with the Jade Cargill one. So, okay. Yeah, those are the 3 songs I'm actually involved with. Track listing did come out. It's called Who We Are. There's I think like 21 songs on it. It's available for pre-order on shopaew.com. I don't know if anyone else has 3 songs they're a part of. Not sure, but the Jade song is a dance hall song, and I've never actually made a dance hall beat in my life. So I've always been a fan of dance hall music, and I'm noticing like the modern dance hall is a little bit different from the one that I grew up on. I kind of tried to blend the two, like, taking your like kind of Kevin Little stuff with, some stuff I was like listening to just to kind of get a reference of what's going on right now. But really happy about that song. That song features Montezzi, Righteous Reg, and a guy named Anthony King who's singing the hook. And originally it was a hip hop beat that I produced, and that shit is like out of here. Like I put like a preview clip on Twitter today, and people were really feeling that, and that was what we didn't go with. So that tells you what was actually picked for the project. It was pretty interesting. Now, I don't like there are people that are getting their contribution used as like a theme, like maybe like on Dark, or they'll use it, the next month or whatever. I think this is such a happy sounding song. I think Jade would have to like turn babyface before she used something like this.
Okay.
But it is tight. I'm not gonna lie. I was proud of myself for stepping out of my comfort zone and making something different. Then the Mark Henry song. I can say I got word from Mark Henry himself that said if he ever wrestles again, this is going to be his theme song, which is like pretty cool. On this song is Josiah Williams who used to be in NXT, and Montezzi. First time I got to work with Josiah, so I heard what they did to it, and it was just like super hard trap beat, epic horns. I was thinking like Olympian like type stuff. So shit is tough. Like it's called Legend, if I'm not mistaken, and it's just like they're flowing, rapping all fast on it, and I'm just freaking it like with the beat pretty much. So like the last song was the Nyla Rose song, and now this one was like I had kind of got a direction from Mark Henry, kind of the stuff he's listening to, and I was like kind of shocked or whatever. So I was like, oh, okay, all right, cool. So I'll make that.
Why,
and I'm
why
like,
were you shocked?
Because it was like anything else that anyone would be listening to right now or whatever. So like he had,
I like how diplomatically you answered that question. Because I think off air we would get the same answer, but it's a different answer. We would be using some different words. So yeah.
But
go ahead.
I think everyone's really gonna dig that song. If there was like one where I was like, what's probably my favorite beat I made out of them, it's probably that one. Just like quality it sounds and how clean it is and stuff like that. But the song that I'm actually rapping on is Nyla Rose's song, and I pretty much use like what I would consider like, all right, I don't think the Jade or the Mark Henry beats are necessarily like my style like of beat. Like just me making something that I want to make, that's like what I use for Nyla Rose. Cool thing about Nyla was Nyla didn't give any direction. So I don't know if this was the case. She didn't get her requests in on time, or it was just like, hey, just do your thing. Either way, the creative freedom on that was dope because I just kind of put it all together on a Saturday. I wasn't originally supposed to rap on it or anything. I was like, well, why wouldn't I rap on this guy? I like the beat that much. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna just send a verse to. They used it, and I'm on that song with John Connor, who used to be signed to Aftermath, Dr. Dre, and all that. He's on the first verse. So, and a guy named Blizz on the last verse. And I made that beat, and it's completely like, it doesn't sound like anything else on the album. I can pretty much guarantee it. I think all three songs are going to stand out. I actually had spoke with Mike Ruckus, that does the music for AEW. He told me that the stuff that I submitted was very impressive, and he's definitely 1,000% looking to work with me in the future, which is pretty cool if that comes to fruition. And I saw a lot of people talking down, on this whole thing when it was rolling out. And as the information slowly gotten out there, and I want to thank AEW for like the proper kind of social media push with it, because we were all, wondering how much they'd really like get behind this thing. Like they've been promoting it on TV, on the internet, on the tweets, like as far as like the dark shows. They have wrestlers doing like profile pieces for it. They had the big press release. The Bootsy Collins Foundation is involved with it. He's actually going to be on the intro of the album. That's pretty cool. My mom was a big Bootsy Collins fan when she was growing up. And that's really cool to like just have your name like splattered with all those people, like your Mega Rans, your John Connors, Montezis, stuff like that. And I'm right there in there with them. And a lot of people are like, hey, this is overdue. You deserve like this thing. I had a lot of people show me love on like Twitter and all that. So thank you guys for reaching out like that. But, it's amazing like what happens when you like kind of just meet people, and because this isn't no new thing, like as far as like, the stuff I've brought to the game of rap or whatever. So I think you guys are going to be really impressed on, the contributions I made production wise. And then also, I actually got to rap on it with John Connor. So that was pretty fun.
Yeah, it's really cool, man. That's really cool. You say you only sent 3, or did you send anything else that doesn't make the cut?
Nah, just those 3.
I mean, 3 for 3 out there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I guess we talk about the week in AEW. Like, I mean, I don't really feel like going through the show. Like, first things first. Big thing. CM Punk versus MJF in Chicago. I have not rewatched this match. When I did watch this match, I was dog tired. And I know I normally say I'm dog tired, and I always talk about how like I didn't sleep for the last 48 hours. I had like 4 hours of sleep or 3 hours of sleep in like 3 days, like 72 hours. It's like I was fighting for my motherfucking life to still watch that match. But I enjoyed the match, but I was really alarmed when like MJF came out at like 9:10, and I was like, "What is this?" And you know, like once he gets caught with the choke, I thought to myself like, "Oh, they're going to restart the match," and sure enough, the tape is getting seen by Rinsberg. Rinsberg restarts the match. And I just got to say, like, I thought the Pepsi Plunge was cool. Like, I never knew what a Pepsi Plunge actually was until then, because I always heard people talk about it. It was CM Punk. I just never seen him do it before, and I see why he never used it, because, like, he hates Triple H, right? So, there's that. I thought the closing stretch was really fun. I thought it was a damn good match. I just thought that, like, it just went way too long. I thought that, like, they would have had a, you know, I don't think I'm a genius at like saying that like this 40-something minute match would have been better going 30 or, you know, 27 or whatever. But they did what they did. And a lot of people like love the match, you know, giving it over 4.5 or whatever else. Like, I'm not going to argue with you. It's just for my taste. After seeing a match go 30 minutes that was killer like that weekend between Julia and Mayu, and comparing it to this, like it just paled in comparison as far as the work. So I, you know, for me also, like another part where like I saw it come from a mile away. Like once they zoomed in on him and like MJF gets thrown into the ring, I was like, cause like, you know, I was like, oh, he has the ring. Like as he's rolling the ring, you can see him like covering his hand like he's covering for an object. Like, oh, he has the ring. So he decks him, and like I guess the crowd was like surprised or just didn't see it either. They were like, okay, well, Wardlow's gonna finish him like on some Young Bucks and Adam Page against Kenny Omega shit. I don't know, but like decks him, pins him, and I was like, well, yeah, all right. Like he beat CM Punk in Chicago. He gets to hold this over people's heads forever. There's more heat for MJF. So like as far as who was going to win, I was good with whoever winning. Now that MJF has won, I think even better. And like I think there's a rematch, and I think the rematch will be sooner than like a normal big rematch is in AEW, but maybe even a pay-per-view. But yeah, I thought that like from a booking perspective and everything, I thought they did more or less everything right, except for not putting it on first. That's the only thing. That's my only real critique about it is like they had a really good match for my money. They should have cut it shorter, but they didn't. But the crowd, they didn't lose the crowd like it was unrecoverable. Like the times the crowd got quiet, but other times they got it back up and revving by the end, like they were into it all. So from that perspective, it was a success for a 40-minute match. It just wasn't my cup of tea. Like it's still a match that I give it 3.5 stars, but like I will say I'm kind of in this state right now, in this run right now between Stardom and in AEW. I'm kind of over matches going over a half hour or half hour over. Like I just don't have the patience for it right now. Like it's been done a lot of late in December through January of so far.
There are a certain number of wrestlers in the world that I want to watch wrestle for over 30 minutes.
Yep.
CM Punk at age 43 and MJF with CM Punk. This is not one of those combos.
Agreed.
I was confused when I was seeing some of the reaction to this. Like we had just witnessed some modern classic or whatever. And I was like, huh? Like if you're talking about an old school like physical war that involved great selling, I mean Hangman versus Danielson was like
smoked it,
you know, a month ago. Like right. What are we talking about here? I think people are, you know, CM Punk is getting a lot out of a little, right? And that's a talent in itself. And I think there are people that desire for this, the natural people that, you know, may have come into AEW at a later time, like maybe with CM Punk, you know, They was like, hey, you know, all these people need to slow down and all these flips and everything. And then when CM Punk's doing like this basic slower pace selling based stuff, it's really getting over huge, like with that sect of the audience, right? But when I'm watching this, I'm like, I don't think this holds up like to, you know, like you tell me like this is like Brian and Kenny Omega, no. Hangman and Brian, no. Like, stop this. Like, his match against Eddie Kingston was like your 4.5 CM Punk match. Like, that's what you're like, you know, going 11 minutes all out. You know, this was like, it felt long for the sake of being long at times. There may have been a business element to this. Keep CM Punk on screen as long as possible in a big match. And this actually didn't do the killer rating that people would have thought it did, which speaks to a point Josh from Keepin It Strong Style was making. Maybe they missed the peak as far as like the feud. They built it up for 3 months, and it was like by the time the match came, it was almost like, oh, whoa, we're here. Like, it's happening. And I was like, I felt like the match was kind of hot, but then like I would have thought it would have been a little bit more thunderous as far as environment wise, you know, going into it. But that, you know, they slowed this thing all the way down, and it felt like they were trying to do like Ric Flair and Harley Race, and like, you know, I'm tired of I hate to say it, but like the tribute act stuff, like, I don't know, man. Like MJF when he's falling out of the figure 4 around the ring post and falling on the ground, like, I'm sorry, like, this is not a 4.5 star match.
Yeah, like you're not like, understand CM Punk, Mr. Punk. You are a huge Bret Hart. You are not Bret Hart. You are not fucking Bret Hart. You're just not. There's no shade to that. There's very few motherfuckers ever been Bret Hart in the ring that I've ever seen with my own 2 eyes. I don't think I've ever seen 20 of them.
Right.
That's really hard to fucking do. You're great. You're just not Bret Hart.
Right. Like, this is not Kazuchika Okada and Will Ospreay. No. Like, this should not have.
This ain't that one with Tommy and Shuri.
Right. Like, this is not. Just shouldn't be going that long. Like, and this should have went like 25 minutes, and you know, whatever. But I think it was a lot. It was very ambitious. Kudos to them for reaching for the stars, because somebody got to. But as far as, I loved how it was booked, though. Like, I'll say that I love that MJF would have won this match, because I would have done the same thing.
Won it twice.
This is a company about youth. They just showed you in back-to-back months, like Hangman putting away Bryan Danielson, MJF putting away CM Punk. If you're crying about either result, there's another company that is on the dial right now where you can watch the old guys thrive, or you know, you want the old guys to win. There's another promotion that can do that for you. But this like was a clear message that it was like, yo, we've got stars like Hangman Page, MJF, like, and it is like, you know, the message is clear. Are they always going to win? No, but they're going to get wins at the right time that launch them to, you know, different stratospheres. And I think it's really cool that, you know, even, you know, they had to do it dirty and stuff like that. But I mean, who doesn't?
That's how MJF wins.
That's how he wins.
That's par for the course. That's par for the course.
Like, he beats everybody like that. He beat Darby like that. Like,
he always wins with the ring. He always beats somebody with a name with a ring.
He did, you know, got wins over Jericho in dirty fashion and stuff like that. Like, I think, Cody. You know, Cody, yep. And think about it for MJF. He's got Cody. He's got you know, he's got Cody. He's got Darby. He's got Jericho. He's got Punk. He got CM Punk. Nobody's beaten CM Punk since, you know, who knows? Like, this is his first loss, obviously, in the promotion, and it's like
maybe his first
loss. That's a very big win.
Is that maybe his first loss is like December 2013?
It might be his first loss since like old school Raw, when he lost to Roman Reigns.
He lost to Reigns on old school Raw.
Yep.
Okay, well then that would be it then.
Yep.
I had totally forgot about this. I was thinking like that one time when like the Wyatts had pulled out, or when he faced the Wyatts or faced the Shield or whatever else with Daniel Bryan, and like one of the two factions yanked the other one out, and they were left to die and fight for their own. So yeah.
So like, I like I said, I think I enjoyed the match. I thought it was cool. I think I was a little bit higher on it than James. It was like 3.75 for me, but I was like,
I don't mind that. I think I'm probably punishing the match for going so long, and I was fucking exhausted.
Yeah. And I just don't think this was some match of the year candidate. Like, no. I think people wanted it to be a match of the year candidate very badly. And sometimes that's, maybe I'm wrong about this. I'm not the authority on these things, but I would encourage people, if they can stomach watching 38 minutes of that match again, rewatch it, and then rewatch like Hangman versus Brian, and you tell me like which one we're talking about here. And it's not both.
Yeah. All right, so I guess other matches on there, are from this week. The TNT title match between Sammy Guevara and, we can talk about that. Then we'll get to the other title match, the FTW one after. That's one I really want to talk about. But Sammy Guevara versus Isaiah Cassidy. Thought they had a very good match. I just think that the problem is that, much like the first reign with Guevara, is that he won against Miro until he got into the Cody, trading the belts back and forth thing. Like, they did not give him someone that, like, you think he could stand the test to beat him. Like, he's beating people that he's basically carrying, in namesake he's carrying. He's not actually, like, carrying Isaiah Cassidy or carrying other people he's faced, because they're also good in their own right. But just from a marquee name value perspective, he's a much bigger star than those other guys, which is par for the course for the TNT title, especially during Cody's reign. It's like, okay, we fucking get it. We know what you're doing. Right? So I thought they had a really good match. So what were your thoughts on it?
I think Sammy is great. And I totally agree with your point about, like, them needing to put him in there with, marquee people. There's a lot of people that are just kind of hanging out, not being put in that TNT title mix, that are, like, obviously they have bigger plans for Cole, but Cole was somebody that could be been matched up with Sammy at some point.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of people on the roster. They've got Team Taz, all those guys like Ricky Starks could be stepping up to Sammy. They've got imports on the way in that hopefully can be stepping up to Sammy or whatever. And
Orange Cassidy, bring your ass down here and come get kneed in the head.
Right. Like, and then like y'all need to like feed this guy like some names, and
it ain't even got to be some. It can be two during this reign, but it has to happen. Like, there's a reason. Like, you will figure that they did the two matches with Cody, say, as a way of saying, like,
it's like a reset.
To reset and to say, okay, like, we know that he's going to give you the matches, but he was wrestling these smaller names that we knew weren't threats, so people were kind of bored with his title, even though he was having great matches. So we do the thing and restart it, and the first thing you do is go right back to what made people say that they were kind of wanting him to come off the belt anyway. So it's like, all right, at least we get the Darby face-to-face thing after this match, where after he beats Cassidy, AHFO comes in, Darby clears the ring, they go face-to-face. So like, so that is definitely somebody that I'm interested to see, because Darby and Guevara, they're great together.
Maybe they can do a three-way even with Andrade and Darby.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be great. So I'm with it. Like, whatever, Darby and Guevara go face to face, I'm with it. Put it at pay-per-view. That'd be great. That'd get them off to, like, get
I got an idea.
Challenge involved. Sorry.
I got an idea of a guy that can give Sammy Guevara at a certain point. Chris Jericho.
Yeah. Seeing how far this thing, or whatever, how this goes with the rest of Inner Circle, this mandatory meeting, and if they break up, that's a natural storyline to do. I would say to do that pay-per-view. But that's for May or whatever. Not for right now. Right now it's Darby, but yeah, I'm with you on that. That'd be a great time to do it. And then after that, like after that, Jericho basically goes to. Yeah, but I almost feel like if you put Pac in a title match, he has to win one fucking eventually, right? Like, like if you do the Pac, let Pac be the TNT champion, like when you want to take the belt off of Sammy. So yeah. But yeah, like I would love to see that match. So the real. I'm sorry. Will this be the tertiary title? I know that Tony Khan and Cody don't like talking about titles, not about the 2 and 3 titles not being the 2 and 3 titles, but like Ricky Starr versus Jay Lethal. Man, I didn't give this 4 stars, but like I had it at 3.5, and it was cooking, and it was short, and it was crisp, and everything. And then when that finish came through, where Lethal goes for lethal injection. And Ricky Starks turns into a makeshift Rochambeau. I popped, like I gave it off that move, off that reversal. I gave it extra quarter star bump to that 3.35. I'm sorry, 3.34.
Moves, baby.
I'm sorry, 3.75. I'm tripping. Yes. Moves, baby. Yes. That needs to be clipped off your stream from the weekend. That shit had me howling. Moves, baby. So but anyway, yeah, man, I thought it was excellent. I thought that was a counter and finish that belonged at a WrestleMania, because like Vince McMahon would have saw that that would have been the finish of one of his matches on a WrestleMania or on a marquee match.
I popped big for it. I was like, like what? It's rare I'll do the gasp or whatever, because I thought it was cool. I think it's the best Starks has looked in a long time. You had some thoughts about Jay Lethal. I thought they were pretty interesting.
Oh man, like okay, so for me with Starks, like I thought this was Starks' I thought this was probably his best performance in AEW. Like bell to bell performance selling. Getting a high quality match, singles match, because he doesn't really have many high quality singles matches to his name. That being said, Jay Lethal, while watching that, he was I don't want to say light years, but he was to the eye, like clearly ahead of him as a worker in the ring. And like you can see at times where like he's sitting there kind of like waiting a half blink for Starks to do his thing so he can reverse it or whatever else, or he's slowing down to try to meet his speed. And I'm not saying like, it was some fucking high speed match. I'm just saying like it was just super impressive that he's that sharpened on his game right now. And like, yeah, man, we talked about this off air. We've talked about it before when he first came and had the match with Guevara. Like, with that in mind, with this match in mind, like this is a dude that was in Ring of Honor and was a guy that we knew, by being their top champion, by having the matches with Taven, having the matches with Briscoe. We knew this dude was super talented. We knew this dude was a dude that didn't go out and have great matches, but we just hadn't seen it, and he's been kind of in that away from the limelight of a lot of people. And like this dude has left Ring of Honor and showed up in AEW, and this dude is literally like he's wrestling with a motivation. And, do we want to talk about what I think motivation is?
Yes.
This man is wrestling for forgiveness. In much the same way that Chris Brown after he beat the hell out of Rihanna, he showed up to the BET Awards and danced and damn so damn well like he was going to start levitating off the damn dance floor. And like he was dancing for forgiveness. The only thing this man didn't do was show up in a soaking wet white t-shirt and start crying while singing Man in the Mirror. Like that is the kind of game that that Jay Lethal is on right now. Like this man is trying to beat these allegations with fake fights.
Hey, if one were to think that was possible, right? These would be the performances that you would need to do it.
Yes, like this dude came in here and he feel like he hit the ground running.
He's like, yo, why? I think he's got that mindset. Why not me?
Right.
Like
these recent acquisitions, right? These recent acquisitions that came in, right? You got Andrade, or you got Malachi.
He's been more impressive than
other than Malachi, Danielson, and Andrade, it's him. Like I wasn't expecting this. This is like what I'm saying. Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is like I expect that from those level of guys because I've never really thought that Lethal was ever at that level of guy. This dude's wrestling to where like
he is.
Right. That's what I'm getting at. Like this has been really impressive, and it's like, hey man,
like plans might have to get ripped up, or this guy needs to be factored in.
Right.
Like, if he's gonna be wrestling like this, like
that Black Machismo shit was left in Ring of Honor.
Yeah, like you gonna be telling me Adam Cole's like gonna be getting all the big matches? Well, Jay Lethal needs to be getting the big matches too. Like the way he's wrestling.
Yeah. Like whatever they figure out, whatever they're gonna do with whatever hits the fan with Omega and Red Dragon and the Young Bucks.
I would love to see Kenny and Jay Lethal at some point again this year. They had a great match in 2017 in that tournament.
What tournament?
The U.S. title tournament at Long Beach.
Okay. Totally forgot about that. Jesus, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Long Beach was a long fucking time ago. What?
2017.
2017. Was the Okada Cody match on there? On that?
That was the Saturday main event.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was multiple shows. Holy shit, that was a long time ago. I mean, it's 5 years ago. It's almost 5 years ago. But yeah, man. Yeah, just really impressed with Jay Lethal and like high on the list of like put him in a match, and it's like it's a spark. It really is at this point. So other matches I thought were interesting, or other things that happened this week on AEW I thought were interesting were the Mercedes Martinez match on Rampage versus Thunder Rosa. Obviously she interfered or she beat up Thunder Rosa at one point, and then this is a get back, and they have their match, and Thunder Rosa is winning, and then they end up taking it by the ring steps. Mercedes is thrown into the steps, and then she grabs a gigantic lead pipe and she bops that shit across the back of Thunder Rosa's head. Obviously, the shit was fake, but goddamn, that's a mean the way she hit the.
So what you saying is Mercedes laid the pipe?
Yeah, she laid the pipe across the back of their head. Yes, absolutely. So
obviously DQ in the promotion.
Yes, I think it's
kind of a jarring
like
thing.
The first, second, or third DQ ever, or something like in the history of the promotion. Not the first, like it's like to be like the third or fourth, something like that.
Yeah, it's under 5 for sure.
Yeah. So took the DQ, and obviously they had this. I don't know if did they stretch her Thunder Rosa off. I would have stretched her off after getting hit with that fucking pipe. God, bro, that pipe look heavy as fuck, bitch. Anyway, so in the back you have they're interviewing her. Mercedes is like, what the hell's gotten into you? Why would you do this? And in comes Team Baker. It's Jamie.
It all comes together.
And Britt and Rebel. And Britt says that one part of the deal why I paid you, it was for you to lose, which she's not saying it out. She's not saying it verbatim that like I want Thunder Rosa's high on the contendership list or high on the rankings. I want you to beat her so that she just nudged down. She doesn't get a title shot. But that's the insinuation. That's what is implicitly said is like, I didn't bring you here to lose. I beat you here to beat her up. Not the same thing. So you say, I want you to get another shot. So in the background, Jamie's like, wait, what the fuck? You hired someone else? You brought in outside talent? You brought in an outside goon? And Britt was like, yeah, I brought an outside goon. You can get the job done. So she's furious. She's already was mad at over the Riho thing with Britt. So that's another reason to be mad. But at the same time, Mercedes like, all right, fine. But you still gonna have to pay me. You're still gonna have to pay me. And she's like, well, you'll get paid when you do your job. So Mercedes didn't like that. She was gonna step to Britt, but Jamie still cared while she's mad at Britt. She's still gonna stand up for Britt, so she got in between those two. So it's like, I thought this, I don't want to say masterful, but I thought this was great.
I think the DQ was totally worth it for this,
to do all this, yes.
Because it not only goes back from here, it goes back to the tournament. While both Rebel and Jamie lose to Thunder Rosa, we think that Jade had hired Thunder Rosa or hired Mercedes Martinez, and there was going to be some partnership. But no, it was a hit job from Britt. Seeing her coming. And then, it all weaves into what happened on Rampage. And it was like, man, people got to update their talking points, man. This is really good.
Yeah, because this is now like this is now a top angle that also like
this is what this is Thunder versus Britt. We are here.
Yeah, it's Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker for the title. And underneath it has like about a month of television between like dissension and Rosa having to climb the mountain to get to her. Before it even happens, and also like before or even after, like also the fallout between Mercedes and Jamie and Britt. Like so, like there's tons of stuff for Britt Baker and like that whole storyline in a way that like I can't remember last time that happened with like in America. Like maybe that was well done. Maybe like the. Maybe like the 4-way at WrestleMania or the 4-way at NXT New York where like you had Io and Kyrie and Bianca and Shayna, where it played into where it's like multiple people are going to have to, they're all chasing after her and all this. And that whole run of time, like from the time she got that belt back in 18 and what was that, Revolution?
Mm-hmm.
What was the name of the woman's all putting people? It was Revolution.
Evolution.
From Evolution to WrestleMania, or New York takeover. So like I thought this was really definitely done. And like yeah, man, a lot of people have said a lot of stuff about this women's division, but like have been late to recognize that like storyline wise, it has picked up a lot. I mean, you even have like with the Sheeta and Serena thing and like the vignettes for Serena to get her off the ground, like she's going to have a shot at the TNT title or not TNT title, the TBS title or the AEW Women's World title soon. Like she is being set up almost like a Konami Shuri type figure of like she's the badass gatekeeper, right? Yep. Like
if there's a title change, like Thunder Rosa's opponent is probably going to be Serena Deeb.
Yep.
Something like that.
Yep. So yeah, man, this thing is kind of rounding into form. Like, is it going to be Stardom? Fuck no, but it can't be, right? Like, it's not going to be Ice Ribbon. It's not going to be Tokyo Shifro. Not going to be Sendai. None of that.
They don't have to worry about sending a baby face out there that resents the fans and is just angry at them and shows it all over her face. Like, we don't have to deal with that in this promotion.
No.
You got, if Britt's in there with Thunder will be cheered. Like, this is not the Brit party that it would have been against, some of her previous opponents where it's like the babyface is just holding on for dear life. Thunder Rosa has she has levels to go to before she gets to Brit, and when she gets to her, I think we're going to get a fucking great match, and I hope it's at Revolution.
I don't know. I think it might be somewhere they do it on TV. Because I think we'll see. Like, I will.
They do it on TV is a massive mistake. I think they should do it on pay-per-view and shit. Like, depending on how hot the storyline gets.
Why? Well, the reason why I say is like, given like how all is going to play out. Like, don't you want? How many matches is Rosa going to get through before she even get to pay-per-view? Because we're only how many weeks out now? 3 weeks? 4 weeks?
It is March 6th, the pay-per-view. So we've got 8 shows between Rampage and
so
Dynamite.
4 weeks. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you could get to it, but it's weird with AEW. Like, I always feel like they're either going too fast or too slow. I never feel like they're doing anything just right. Like, so, with their timing. So, we'll see. But yeah, it could definitely happen then. Like, they could get through all that stuff, but I just kind of would, but then again, like, thinking about it, like, I don't think they're going to do a Thunder Rosa fiery promo thing to build the match. So, like, you can toss that aside. So, like, you ain't even got to have a week for that. So, you're probably right. So, another thing I wanted to mention. So, while we're talking about AEW Women's. Like, All Japan Women's, AEW Women's.
AEW Women's.
So, Battle of the Belts, Britt versus Riho. Early in that match, a match that I did not exactly love, a match that I was at times frustrated with, especially the ending. Kind of answer why it didn't go off as well as I thought it could have. Well, Riho apparently broke her collarbone in the middle or early in the match, and then continued out throughout the match. At no point did I think she ever broke anything. I thought it was just a match. And the word is, she went to the back. She wrestled her match. She went to the back. There was no complaints, and then they checked her out, and then later on, days later or something like that, and they found out, oh yeah, you broke collarbone. You wrestled this match with a fucking broken collarbone. And like, that just goes to show. She's
like, so?
Yeah, and like, keep in mind, like, you know, this
is the woman that is admonished for nothing looking real, for looking like she's a joke, and all this other shit.
Yeah.
All right.
And so, and I don't necessarily, I get where a lot of people, or I get where people are coming from as far as her offense or whatever else. But that's besides the point. In this particular moment, she fought through in the middle of a title match, fought through a broken collarbone. And like, it reminded me, something that like, is just true, just true. I've seen it enough now over the last, 3 years. Joshi's different, bro. They just say some other shit, bro. Like, I heard about that, and the first thing I thought about was like, well, I did see like Nasco Tora like land a leg drop on Jungle Kyona's knee and tear ACL, and then I watched Jungle Kyona wrestle another 8 minutes on that fucking knee, like limping around that bitch, and then tag out and roll out the ring. She sold it, and then like started trying to run ropes and tried to like fireman's carry somebody and collapse on her knee.
Nope.
Like, they just different out there, bro. This is a whole different level. Jungle Kyona ain't wrestled since that day.
Jesus.
She ain't wrestled since.
Yeah, I logged on Twitter and I just saw Riho in the arm sling, and she just looked so sad. Like, it was like, damn.
Yeah, so I just wanted to point out, like, hey man, like, you know, all these wrestlers are tough, but they ain't tough as these motherfuckers over there. It's not. Like, we see people like separate their shoulders and all types of stuff, and like, nah, wear that match up, throw them X's up. Or whatever else. And you know, like, I'm not saying that, like, you know, that's some type of discredit to our tough ass wrestlers. They get injured and, you know, carry on too. There's some, you know, that stuff happens all the time. People fight through concussions, all that kind of stuff, or crazy neck injuries. But I don't know what it is to me, where someone can break their neck and then say, let's just go to the finish, bruh. And then say, I'm gonna walk off with my full strength all the way to the back and then collapse like Hiromu did. Or, you know, I'm going to headbutt somebody so hard that I catch a fucking subdural hematoma and then continue wrestling one of the greatest matches of all time and then lose and then take my ass to the back and then collapse once I get behind the curtain and almost die. And then have Dave Meltzer erroneously report that they took his brain from out of his fucking skull and then stopped the swelling and then they put it back in. That's not how that works. It's not a battery pack, Dave. What the fuck are you talking about, Dave? So yeah, anyway, yeah, man, they different over there, man. They just different.
Yeah, man, broken brain, you know. Yeah.
Just look, just unplug the memory card and then put it right back into the PlayStation. What?
Reset button.
Yeah, Rumble Pack. The Rumble Pack, Rich.
Slam it in.
Yeah. All right, so what's next, man?
I guess there's only one thing left to do. So I guess, James, go ahead and hit the music.
Okay, man. So, 2 shows have happened since the last pay-per-view, the anniversary show. They had a Korakuen Hall on February 1st. Then they had a show in Sendai on the 6th. So, so in the aftermath of Tam and Waka and my missing time due to what we believe to be COVID concerns, Mayu on the 6th show ended up missing. She they said she was physically unable, in physically poor condition, which is the same thing they told us about Tam and Waka and Mai. So I was concerned, but then like watching the pre-match promo when Hannah talked about Mayu missing, she let it slip that it was a back injury. So like I felt more relieved to hear that it was a back injury than COVID. Anyway, so I'm just going to get into it and talk about the February 1st show in Korakuen Hall. They end up having in the opener Hannon versus Saki. Hannon had put up a good fight against Saki. Obviously she's bigger than her, but she's obviously the age difference. We're talking about a woman in her late 20s versus a 17-year-old high school girl. A real JK fighter, if you will. And Hannon had her on the ropes until Saki said, gotcha kid, and caught her with her crucifix pin, her flash crucifix pin for the win. It was a decent match. Then the second match was Mayu and Hazuki and Kaguma and Kogo versus Utami, Kamatani, Azuni, and Lady C. They had a second match. It just wasn't a match that you thought they could have on the card. That you figured like you put those 8 together, they could go out there and have a great match. They basically had a solid, good match. That was the second match on the card. At the end, Kaguma ended up there. They basically all murdered Lady C with like they hit her with the rocket in the corner, and then Kaguma ended up coming off the top and hitting her top rope bear splash for the win on C. Second match, you had Mina and Unagi versus Julia and Tekla. I don't know what would have happened on this card if we had the other 3 angels, but this is what they came up with: Mina and Unagi versus Julia and Tekla. And I thought they had a good match. It wasn't some match of the year, it wasn't some match of the night, but they had a good match. The end comes down to Mina and Tekla together again. And Tekla seemingly looked like she's going to put Mina away in a similar fashion to the pay-per-view, but she ends up escaping the Poison Spider Death Drop and ends up slapping on her flash pin, that glamorous collection Mina, and gets the win. So after they get the win, Unagi, who don't give a damn, she said, hey, we just won a tag match against one half of the former tag team champions. We want a shot at the tag titles. Hazuki, Kaguma, bring your ass out here and accept our challenge.
All you gotta do is ask.
Yep. All you gotta do is ask.
Unagi.
Yes. So,
can we talk about Unagi's outfit on that press conference?
Yeah, let me finish the promo real quick, or the after match promo. So they come out, Hazuki says, yeah, you guys say you're crazy, or Unagi, you say you're crazy, we'll see who's crazy. And then Kaguma, got any words for these two? Kaguma says, well, I like when people do bear poses. Hazuki is against the ropes. You can see her looking at kind of like, God damn it, why am I friends with such a goofball, such a non-serious person? So obviously, Mina, Unagi, they with the shits. They look at each other. They get themselves in formation. Like the Ginyu Force. They go, and do the pose. And there's a steal. Rich, do you have the steal that I sent to y'all that is now a icon in one of our things?
If you send it to me,
okay,
now I can project it.
Yes, I would like for you to project this on the screen. Do you want me to send it to you in Messenger?
Yes, please.
All right, let me pull it up in Messenger. So they do the pose, and it was just hilarious. Suzuki's against the ropes, and just like, I'm not with this goofy shit. Like, and I'm with these three characters. But I think they're going to have a very good match when the time comes and they do have it. So I'm with it. You know, I don't know what they would have done if Tam had been around or whatever else. So like, I'm just like, aside from these draws, I'm kind of washing my hands on whatever they're doing for this particular for this particular pay-per-view or setup, or, you know, build up to this pay-per-view. As long as it makes a semblance of sense, I'm okay with it, because it's not, I don't know what their plans were. So I am stalling for time until I can find this thing so I can send it to Rich. So just bear with me, y'all.
Yeah, man.
Found it. All right, I sent it to you. So, okay. So I saw the picture of Mina and Unagi and Kaguma and Hazuki, and I thought, like, this reminds me of something. This reminds me of something when we have these discussions. Are you showing these people?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is very much a lot of conversations that Keepin It Strong Style and One Nation Radio have when these three are on the goofiness, and I'm just like, I can't partake. I can't relate. I'm not aligning with this particular vision as of now. So yes, that is very much the essence of Social Suplex, the core four, if you will. So yeah. But anyway, on to the next match. You had another Quattros match. You had Shuri and Micah and Himeka and Mirai. As I officially have called Rich before, these four, they are the alliance to stop Utai Mania. Like, them four will just be like, those are Utami's career rivals for like the next, or her career rivals going forward. Like, that's gonna be it. It's gonna be those four versus Utami in whatever form or fashion for the next like 4 years. Anyway, versus Momo and Def and Ruaka and Rina, and I don't know why. I do not know why Oedo Titan bothered showing up for this one. They was finna get smashed, and that's exactly what happened. They got smashed.
Head busting.
Yeah. Mariah ended up beating Rina with the KOD. She calls it a JP coaster. Just for reference, I looked at my notes. I forgot, like, Mina did not beat Tekla by countering out of the Poison Spider finish and into a flash pin. She escaped, hit a move, and I think it was like a kick to the gut, and then hit her implant DDT. It's basically like a lifting double arm DDT, like a Dirty Deeds almost.
Tekla needs a move called the Tech, so we can say hit her with the Tech.
That would be fun. But then again, like, she doesn't spell it right, so she probably even think about no text. So,
yep.
Where are those? The main event. The main event. High speed match. Starlight Kid versus Natsupoi. This would be Starlight Kid versus Natsupoi part number 3 in their high speed rivalry. So this would be the trilogy. So me and Rich had talked about, and we talked about this a while, like the 30-minute time limit draws, and talked about how we even talked about it, you know, days before on last week's show reviewing pay-per-view about, you know, the Julia and Mayu match. About it was great. Just wishing that situation, and obviously, you know, with Tam being out, they had an excuse for going to a draw. They had to figure out how to get, you know, with months ahead of time, they had to let people know, like, these are 2 main events for these fucking Sumo Hall shows, so I can't really be mad at them for that. What I can be mad about is them having a high speed match, go 30 minutes in a time limit draw. That is not setting up a rematch at all. It's not happening. Like, it was. They had a high speed match. And don't get me wrong, like, I've seen 20+ minute high speed matches. I've seen high speed matches.
I was gonna say I've seen people like putting different match times and cage match things with the history of the high speed championship and high numbers.
Right.
We're aware of that.
Yeah. The thing is, right, ever since Suzuki won the title at the 2018 year-end climax show, ever since her first defense up until literally the other day, all these title matches have been what we've seen out of the high speed of the high speed matches. Like, that was then, this is now. Like, I understand that, like, when Mayu had matches with let's say La Rosa Negra, or when Io had matches with Kaguma, or handing the belt over to Kaguma back in like 2015 or 14, whatever the hell that was. Like, that was a different iteration, a different style, and a different approach. So, like, I understand that. However, we've been literally like working under Hazuki's rules since 2019. It is 2022. And this draw did not set up a rematch. It set up Natsupoi being the number one contender for the white belt at the next pay-per-view. Huh?
Yeah. The only thing I can think of is, like, you know, maybe getting Starlight Kid some main event experience, going to, you know, a 30-minute, you know, time limit, and, you know, stuff like that. And
they booked the match and didn't want to be either one of them.
Yeah,
it wasn't even like to set up a rematch. They're like, if they have another match, it'll probably, like, I don't know if they'll even have another match. Like, who knows?
Yeah,
but that's not the point. It's like
draws are getting like.
All right, let me look through here.
It's a lot, man. Like, it just seems like every other month, or like maybe they're doing like a draw and a half a month. It feels like
they're doing more than a draw and a half a month. All right, Rich. All right, let's see this time. So I rate all these Stardom shows, right? I rate all the matches in every Stardom show. So there have been 50 or 58 matches so far this year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to type into the search field, time expired.
Jim Ross would love this promotion.
There have been
12? That's going to be my guess.
No. There have been 6.
Okay.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, that's too many. It's just too many. And for one, it's one thing when it's like, okay, it's the third or fourth match on a Road 2 show, and it's Donna Del Mondo versus Queen's Quest, and Azumi's going to be in a title match, so we can't beat Azumi right now. Fine. I understand that. But you literally just had a 30-minute time limit draw at the last show for a no more contenders match.
Right.
And I understand, like, you got Delta Badhand with Tam being out, whatever else. Like, you would have beat 2 of them, fine, whatever. You went into Korakuen Hall and you had a 30-minute time limit draw, and it's a time limit draw for a high-speed title match. And, like, these high-speed matches that we're talking about, like, these matches are literally sprints that can end in 4 minutes, can end in 8 minutes, but normally end absolutely under 10 minutes. And sometimes, like, I have to look through it, but, like, last high-speed title match that I can think of that went over 10 minutes, it might have went 12. I'd have to pull it up. Like,
maybe it's the main event with Starlight Kid and Natsupoi from last year.
Yeah, but that one, you're right. And that probably went like 15.
I feel like that went like 17.
17? All right, let's look it up. But either way, it didn't want to come close to no fucking 30. It wasn't even coming close to 20. So, and all those matches had winners.
Right.
That's also that part. All those matches had winners.
Like, and don't get it wrong, like, I like to watch wrestling. Like, that's not the thing, but it's like, I think the draw is real. Like Rossi's really leaning on the draw, something heavy, and I think it would be more effective use in more moderation, especially like, you know, like matches that like your Tam and your Mayu match last year that ended in a draw. All right. Would we have liked the winner? Yes. But
that at least made sense because there's a story at play going all throughout this year that carried through last year, or carried out at the end of last year, carried all throughout the end of 2020 when they split with each other, led to making Tam equal as she's rising up the card as becoming a white belt champion, then kind of being seen on par with Mayu at Osaka-jo Hall, and then it was going to lead to, you know, Tam and Julia being elevated to red belt, into the red belt scene as serious threats, like this year. So like all that stuff is going to come into play and be answered this year. So at least that's telling a story. Natsupoi and Starlight Kid, that's not really telling a story. That's connective tissue throughout where their movements and places on the card going forward. Like I don't know next time they're going to wrestle each other.
Right.
I don't. I'm not guaranteed they're going to wrestle each other again. There's a great chance that like Azumi at this next pay-per-view beat Starlight Kid, which clears the road for her to then build towards the white belt in the middle and second half of this coming year. I don't know if we're ever going to get Natsupoi and Starlight Kid high speed belt match again. I don't know. So for me it was disappointing. And ultimately, like, the goal was Natsupoi's been gone doing her stage play thing that she's been doing. Like, I don't know if it's similar to the same thing that Sheeta's doing right now. It's not the same play at all, but I don't know if it's like in the same genre of play. But she just came back. They were like, let's put her in this thing. Let's get her hot and have her have a really good match. And it was a really good match, but it was really fucking frustrating. And have her go out here and have a 30-minute draw in a high-speed setting, which is like, you would die if you tried to have like the kind of high-speed match they have in 10-minute sprints they have in like 12 minutes or under. In 30 minutes, your heart would burst. Yeah. But whatever. Then take that then go to catapulting into the white belt contendership. It's like, I understand that. And there is a story at place with Kamatani and Natsupoi. Like, they've been at each other like all throughout from like November to now. So like, for example, you had them fight over the trios belts at I think it was the Kawasaki Super Wars, right? You had that. You had at I want to say not the Tokyo Super Wars. Yeah, the Tokyo Super Wars. They were all in that three-way with Himeka for the number one contendership to get to Sumo Hall, where Kamatani pinned Natsupoi. They were arguing all throughout that part. That led to their arguing seeping into what happened, the fracturing at the time between Natsupoi and Himeka over the white belt, over questioning Himeka's heart, like, why are you even here, right? Them arguing over it, and Natsupoi really wants to get that white belt because, like, she wanted to put that, shove that shit in Tam's face last year, right? So, like, that's there. But to catapult her to that by, like, facing the lower title to get to that is like, that's lazy. It just is. And like, you're short on time, come up with something else. I'm sorry. Like, there's tons of people that could challenge for the white belt. And quite frankly, I think that like Natsupoi, as highly as I think of her personally, and maybe that's just me being, I want to play the booker, I would like to treat her as a threat. So I would treat her as like, I would try to put her in a higher stage pay-per-view to challenge Kamatani for it and have Kamatani send her packing to where eventually Natsupoi can, may possibly win it or whatever else. But like, I would treat her as a threat as opposed to like, oh, you already know what's going to happen. They're going to have a great match. Natsupoi and Kamatani are going to have a great match, but Natsupoi's going to be sent packing. So, I thought that like the draw, and I'm thinking the reasons for the draw, I think also stinks too. So it's like all this stuff just add up, and I was like, yo, this was a bad step forward for a bad step by Stardom. And Rossi and whoever else put this shit together. So, But yeah, so that was, but the match in itself, I like that match more than I like the CM Punk in an MJF match. But it's 30-minute high-speed match with 30. Or it's a 30-minute high-speed match. Like, no thanks. Like, maybe in a different era, but like, we have been in this place where these matches go under 15 minutes and they're not down, drag out, hyper fights. I kind of want to keep that essence, and it's a nice change of pace as opposed to like most Stardom matches are super efficient anyway, but like these matches were just like outside of red and white belt title defenses. Those are my favorite title defenses, high speed matches. Like just a 5 to 8 minute, just throw everything out there, go crazy, and basically wrestle like a lucha match. And it's awesome. I mean, I can't remember what's the worst high speed match you ever seen.
Can't even really name one, really.
Yeah, so that, like, obviously, you do things to educate people that things can go along or whatever else. Like, don't do that. No.
we go where you at, baby.
Yeah, like, if you want to have a title match in the 10 minutes, cool. Like a main event title match in 10 minutes, cool. Don't fuck with the high speed formula you had. Like, that's one of your best things you do that I've seen for years and years and years. So yeah, or for the last 3 years that I've been watching, like that's one of the best things you do. Like, don't fuck with that division. Like, let them have their sprints. Anyway, so on to the next show. I actually just finished watching this like right before I signed on to the stream. So opening match, Rock and Kaguma. Lot of size, big woman and small woman. Stuff. At the end, you end up getting Kaguma. You get Rock trying to hit Kaguma with her second rope assisted fisherman buster. Kaguma ends up escaping free and ends up hitting a sunset flip off the second ropes into her bridging schoolboy pin that she now calls the Kuma roll. Kuma stands for bear in Japanese.
That's funny.
Yeah, so now, yes, the bear roll. So she has the bear splash. She also has the bear roll. Second match, Hazuki versus Kogo. Kogo in the pre-match promo says, I'm going to do my best. I'm going to show what I have to Hazuki, who is, mentoring me now. And Hazuki says, like, I want to see what she has. And this match pretty much is Hazuki wearing Kogo ass out. It reminds me a lot of, like, the Shuri and Unagi matches from last year, where, like, I want the best. I like you. I want the best for you. I'm gonna beat you into you, and I'm gonna beat the greatness into you. Is kind of one of those things. So they had a good match. I ended up giving this 2 3/4, and like I didn't think I was gonna give Momo Kogo no 2 3/4 star match for in a singles match anytime soon. But yeah, like multiple times she Hazuki's working from on top of her and telling her to fight back. Like, you ever seen a meme of a dude getting jumped by a bunch of people and the dudes jumping and say, "Fight back, nigga, fight back"?
Yes.
Like Hazuki was saying, "Fight back, Kogo, fight back." Like she was on her ass.
She wasn't saying that. No, never mind.
No, she was not saying that. Relax. So at the end, Hazuki ends up finishing Kogo with a top rope senton. And Hazuki got the crowd behind. I got on the mic and it got the crowd behind Kogo. She calls her Ko-Momo, like Kogo, like Ko, and then Momo. Like I'm not doing that. I'm just calling her Kogo. I'm not gonna get no confusion with Momo. I'm not doing it. Just Kogo. So yeah, like the crowd clap for Kogo and her effort against Suzuki, and they all took a bow. Next match, 3-way match. This is the match that Mayu would have been in. It would have been Mina and Unagi versus Hanan and Mayu, where they obviously would have beaten Hanan. But ended up being moved to a 3-way match where Hanan is there left to her own, basically to fight against Unagi and Mina. So they start the match. Cosmic Angels literally get one in the corner and they tag in and out as the ref is saying, "It's a 3-way match. What the fuck are y'all doing?" but they still taking tags or whatever else. And then eventually they do a couple spots with each other where Unagi has Hanan in the camel clutch And Mina wants Mina to get in to like hit the ropes and then hit her with like a running kick. So Mina hits the ropes twice. It comes back and then goes to betray Unagi. Unagi's like, nah, I peeped it. Let's go. Hand and catches Mina's foot, and then basically from there it turns to a series of kicking one person out to try to steal pins. Ultimately, at the end, you end up getting Hand in there with Mina. Mina ends up catching Hannon and hitting her with the Glamorous Collection AT and getting the win. And like Unagi wasn't even mad. And like there were times where like the match started actually where Unagi and Mina like wanted to shake hands with Hannon and were like, congratulations, you know, from two former future belt champions to a future belt champ to the current future belt champion. And at the end, after they basically tag teamed and whooped this 17-year-old, they basically noogied her on her head and like, good job, kid. And both times she's like, get the fuck out of here, you assholes, you beat me up in a three-way, you team together, you jerks. And then Mina walked off. Next match after that, you had Utami and Saya and Azumi versus Shuri, Natsupoi, and Emeka. This was a semi-main event. This match went to a 20-minute time limit draw. 3.5 stars, but it went to a 20-minute time limit draw. You can't beat Azumi?
You know, she's gotten too big, you know.
Like, okay, so maybe I'm being unfair because Azumi is actually the next challenger for the high speed belt at the next pay-per-view. So maybe that's unfair. Let's see who we got. Natsupoi, Shuri's the red belt champion. Natsupoi is challenger for the white belt. Utami, they're not going to beat Utami on a Road 2 show. Unless it's to build towards something, right? Kamatani's white belt champion. They've been Kamatani enough on Road 2 shows to last me for the next 3 months, to be honest with you. She's going to be the white belt champion. So I would not suggest beating her either. But I'm looking at Emeka, and I see Emeka right there. And I see Emeka's not doing a damn thing. Can't beat Emeka? Guess not. Nah. They started the match out with Kamatani and Natsupoi. They start out doing some really cool stuff. I just know they're gonna have a great match when it happens. How great, I don't know. We'll just tune in to find out. But they have a great exchange. And then basically Azumi, Kamatani, and Utami take turns on Natsupoi's ass, building heat for like 4 or 5 minutes until they get Shuri in there to change momentum. And then you end up getting, you get Shuri and Utami for a bit. You get Kamatani and Natsupoi. You get Shuri and Natsupoi. You get Utami and Himeka doing their Hoss stuff and shoulder tackles and lariats. And one thing I had to mention, right? Because Himeka is not at the top of Stardom, but I think she's one of the most underrated bumpers in wrestling. Like, for her size, the way she bumps on her neck and stuff and rolls and bumps, like, I don't really see nobody else that's, like, that size bump for people that much smaller than them. It's almost Brockish in a way. Like, when Brock really gets bumping for people, you're like, God damn. Like, it's like that, except it's like you see it every night with her. Right. So, go to a 20-minute time limit draw. The closing stretch comes down to Natsupoi and Kamatani, and, like, the bell rings as like they're basically doing like the high speed trading, reversing near falls in and out. So yeah, that was that. The main event: Julia and Mirai and Tekla versus Starlight Kid, Momo, and Saki. This is a very good match. This match reminds me of, now keep in mind, it's Julia, Mirai, and Tekla, and it reminds me in a way of like the Cosmic Angels trios matches where Tam will have to carry a match. The problem is Julia's not as good as Tam, and so like there were parts where it was kind of sloppy, but like but Julia was in there for a long time to carry the match. And like, to be honest, like I think Mirai and Tekla are far more advanced than Unagi and Mina were when they first came in and they were high speed champions at the beginning of their title reign. So like, I don't think it's necessary for Julia to be in there that long trying to carry a match. I don't think she needs to carry like that because Tekla can can do more than holding the road, and Mariah just had a 4-star match the other day.
Right.
So I think they need to rejigger that. But like Mariah and Julia and Momo, they're great together. I don't think they've had a singles match yet. Maybe they had one. Maybe they may have had a mini one in the 2020 Cinderella tournament. I can't remember. But when they have their singles match finally, because that was the finals match that Julia got scrapped from at the final of the Grand Prix tournament. But when they have it, it's going to be great. But eventually, Tekla and Starlight Kid, they had a high-speed run at times in that match. I can't wait for them to have a high-speed match. But at the end, Tekla's in there, and she's in there with Saki, and she's just like, all right, well, she's going to beat Saki. It's going to be, and that's cool. And I'm watching this match, and I'm like, all right, well, Saki hasn't hit her flash crucifix pin, so, like, this match ain't going to end yet. And I'm seeing how this match is going down. I'm like, she going to pin Tekla? Sure enough. Tekla hit her with a move and like didn't hit her with the finish, but she should just hit her with the finish. And I was like, yep, Saki finna get her. She tried to drag Saki's carcass up off the mat. It wouldn't happen. Went to grab her again, tried to get her for a move. Man, Saki escaped out that shit, hit her with that crucifix pin and pinned her. And now you have the new challenger for the SWA title at the next pay-per-view. So there you go. The Bean Sprout versus the Spider. So
Saki Kashima, the Mendoza line of Stardom.
Yep. I think they'll have a good match. So yeah, that is Stardom this week. I don't know what the cards are for next week or whatever else, but or next weekend, but they do have the pay-per-view up, or the pay-per-view card up, and it's like the main event is Kamatani versus Natsupoi. You have Azumi versus Starlight Kid, and I can't remember the rest of the matches, but I know that on the next Korakuen Hall on the 21st, you're going to have, and I didn't mention this after from the Korakuen Hall show, but like Prominence showed up after the Quattros match with Donna Del Mondo and Natsupoi, or not Natsupoi, but Angels. Donna Del Mondo, the coalition, or the coalition
franchise.
I'm sorry, I'm blanking. I'm mind fluttered right now. But after that match at the Korakuen Hall between Donna Del Mondo and Oedo Tai, out came Prominence. Risa Sera went face to face with Shuri. Shuri noted, her time in Ice Ribbon, saying long time no see, Risa, and talked about like the ongoing war between Donna Del Mondo and Prominence, basically stating that like it's not just a Julia thing, like we want to smoke with all of y'all. So at the next Korakuen Hall show, it'll be a tag team match. It'll be Tekla and Shuri versus Risa Sera and Akane Fujita.
Saw that.
Yeah, Akane Fujita had a match on the 15th anniversary. It was third from the top, the 15th anniversary for Ice Ribbon. I thought the match was really good. So they have natural chemistry. Never seen Risa Sera and Shuri wrestle together, but like I don't see why they wouldn't have great chemistry, because they're two great wrestlers. So excited to see that match when it happens. So yeah, that's all I have for Stardom so far, or tonight.
Cool, man. People had sent me this NXT vignette of Nikita Lyons.
Oh my God.
Lyons. They say, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Guess I'll shut the fuck up. Yeah.
She let down. How do I say this? I know how to say this. She let down what would have been her strongest demographic. The demographic she would have been strongest in, she let down the most with this shit. I don't know how. I don't know how she recovers from this.
You figure it out.
Best of luck. Best of luck.
I was on Keepin It Strong Style last week for the first time in a long time. We broke down the early chapter of the Okada and Tanahashi rivalry from, when Okada comes back, or the Young Lion match they had when he comes back, Rainmaker Shock, Dominion, and then Wrestle Kingdom 7. Excellent show. Can't recommend it enough if you haven't heard it. Very deep thoughts analyzing this whole thing. It was thinking about, did Okada really have it all figured out like that? Him looking like he did, like how great Tanahashi was, and pretty much comparing why we haven't really seen a rivalry like Okada and Tanahashi in wrestling. And even though you would think it would be like the easiest thing to do, but it's a great show. So check it out.
Yeah, so on that note, that's the end of the show. Thanks for listening, y'all. Get your votes in for the One Nation Radio Awards 2021 awards. I need to get mine in too, so make sure you guys get those in. Because when do you want to say, what day do you want to say voting closes? Sunday?
Yeah, or I'm gonna start counting Saturday.
Okay, so make sure you get in by this weekend. And let's see, donations, of course.
Donations.
Hit up the Red Circle. Drop us off a donation.
Pre-order the AEW album.
Yes, pre-order the AEW album. Anything else besides the... Okay. And be sure to listen to these shows on One Nation Radio. On One Nation Radio. Be sure to listen to shows on Social Suplex. Besides One Nation Radio, you have Keepin It Strong Style. You have the Ricky Clive Wrestling Show. You have Gorman Watches Shit. You have 8-Bit Suplex. You have the Grave Consequences Podcast. You have All Things Elite. You have Great Match Generator. And you have AEW Match Night. Thanks for listening, y'all. Later.
Peace.